Hey, welcome to today's daily newspaper read, starring yours truly. My plan is going to be to read some newspapers every single day, live, and go over my thoughts, about the news. I'm gonna wake up, just like I did. I'm gonna wake up, just roll into the computer, go get my newspaper from the drive, and read it. Just flip through it. Normally, how I do it is I take each section and I kind of separate them out. So I get the Philadelphia Inquirer every day, and I get the New York Times. I go out to my driveway, old school, and I retrieve them from the front of my driveway, and then I come back and I just go through them. So let's see what we got today. Philadelphia Inquirer. Today's front cover, front section. Fix my dome a little bit here for you. And there you go. Is that better? Like I said, I just roll out of bed and do this. Why not? All right. What's up today on the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer? What we got? We got an article here about distributing vaccines, of course. Trump creating GOP rifts. Nothing good. Nothing good on the front page, in my opinion. Let's flip to the next one. Now, again, my plan here is just flip. What I do is I flip through the pages. I'm looking at the headlines. I peruse the headlines. I say, do I want to read this full article, or do I just want to kind of glance over and move on to the next section? So right now, I'm not seeing much here worthy of a full read. Slack starts the new year with a tech glitch, a global outage. Slack, a messaging service used by millions of people for work and school, suffered a global outage on Monday, the first day back for most people returning from the New Year's holiday. It's the latest tech glitch to show how disruptive technical difficulties can be when millions of people are depending on just a few services to work and go to school from home during the pandemic. I don't use Slack. I use my company uses Microsoft Office Suite, so I use whatever apps come with that. OneNote, Planner, was it Flow, of course Outlook, OneDrive. The people getting a little bit of debate, in the internal circles of the office. Why can't we use Google? I mean, why are we using Microsoft? You hear that a lot, but no Slack people, as far as I know. Then, usually when I get to the editorial and opinion section, what I like to do is I read through the names of the people who wrote letters to the editor. And I say, all right, Joe Baker from Westchester, do I know you? Don't know you. Now, again, I'm based right outside of Philadelphia, so I get the Inquirer as my local, New York Times is my national. So we're going to start local. And sometimes I know the people. What am I going to tell you? I know the people sometimes. Tom Lees, East Norton, don't know you, Tom. Patricia Cooney, Philly. Victor Janowisk, Norristown. George L. Birch, Philly. David Brownlee, Philly. Paula Goldstein, the president of the Jewish Family and Children's Service of Greater Philadelphia. She wrote in. Daniel Hayes from Fort Washington, and Ken Carroll from Swarthmore. Now remember, I'm reading all this stuff in real time. I haven't read it before, so I'm just going to react to what I what I see here, what strikes my fancy. Ashamed to be an Eagles fan by Tom Lees. I've been a proud Eagles fan since 1948, when my dad helped pull the tarp off the field at Shiba Park so that Steve Van Buren could score the NFL championship winning touchdown in the Blizzard Bowl. After watching the way some people in the Eagles organization ran the fourth quarter Sunday night against Washington, I have to say something I thought I'd never say. I am embarrassed to be an Eagles fan. To ask players to risk their bodies and play all out to win while not putting the best quarterback available on the field in front of a national television audience in a divisional championship game, deciding game, no less, is unconscionable. I don't know, Tom. Like, a part of me understands what you're saying and totally kind of agree with the idea of the sportsmanship and the integrity of the game. But at the same time, like, I like a number 6 draft pick over a number 9. And I feel like sometimes I was listening to, I think it was 610 or WIP or 97.5, whatever, local sports radio station. And somebody called in making that exact point that sometimes, teams tank. Not saying it's the way to go. I guess the right thing to do. But, and again, not saying that was the actual decision that Doug Peterson and the rest of the crew, were motivated by when they took out Jalen Hurts and put in Sudfeld. But, what do they owe these other teams? They owe they owe the fan base and the city. That's what they owe. And so if they feel that they got to look out for that group of people by putting in a third string to try to get that number 6 pick over number 9 or 10, and a meaningless game, frankly, for the Eagles. Avoid injury for your potential number 1. What else we got here in the letters to the editor? Unmasked Mummers. I don't know how y'all feel about the Mummers, but I'm not a fan of the Mummers. I kind of think it's like, really? You're a grown man running around in a costume, face paint on, dancing around with an umbrella, middle of the street, holding a Miller Lite. Like, come on, dude. Like, get serious. Last year, we thoroughly enjoyed the Mummers Parade in person and the colorful pictures the next day in the Inquirer. This year, with the pandemic, the parade was rightfully canceled. And so we were shocked to see a large, colorful photograph of a laughing, mugging, unmasked costume crowd on the front page. Why? This seems remarkably irresponsible. Rather than supporting the story, which criticized the parading, the picture, taken alone, glorifies such defiant, selfish behavior. Does anyone really think that those in the picture will be shamed? Instead, they have a beautiful, validating image of the day they showed public health in Delaware Valley, who is boss. I kind of thought the same thing when I saw that photo. I don't think I have that edition. I threw it out, but it was exactly what I just said. A bunch of grown men cheering on the front page, holding Miller Lite. Look at us. We're on 2 Street. Well, yeah, look at us. Get serious, dude. Like, come on. Okay, what else we got? All right. Front section. Kind of just okay today. Moving on to the region. Ready to reopen. We got Above the Fold here. After being closed for the holidays, the city's leading museums will welcome back visitors this week. So we got a couple museums here reopening, it appears. I'm not really going to go to them, probably. Not that I'm against museums, of course. I'm all for learning about your history and celebrating those things, but I probably won't go. Women sentenced in slaying. A 40-year-old woman in Scranton, PA, sentenced Monday to 15 to 40 years in state prison for her role in a plot to murder a Scranton woman nearly 3 years ago who was targeted because she was a confidential informant for the Lackawanna County District Attorney's Office. Melinda Palermo apologized before she was sentenced by a Lackawanna County judge, according to the Scranton Times-Tribune. The Jenkins Township resident had pleaded guilty in March to third-degree murder in the April 2018 death of 24-year-old Nina Gatto. A couple of Italians here. So prosecutors alleged that Palermo tried to kill Gatto by giving her heroin laced with fentanyl and battery acid, just for good measure, in an effort to keep her from testifying in a drug case against Palermo's boyfriend, 34-year-old Cornelius Mapson. Authorities said that that attempt failed, and Mapson later killed Gatto by suffocating her in her Scranton apartment. Jeez, brutal situation. Palermo said she deserved whatever sentence the judge imposed. She said she thought she was protecting her family, but the shooting death of her own son outside an after-hours club on Mother's Day in 2019 helped change her thinking. Man, this Palermo's been through a good amount. I mean, listen, she killed somebody, but she had a hell of a couple of years. 30 months ago, I don't think I could fully grasp the magnitude of my crime, she said. Not fully. Losing a child is a pain no mother should ever feel. It leaves an emptiness in your soul that never goes away. Karma, perhaps? And then what I also do is kind of like a somber moment. I look at the obits. Look at the spread of obits. People who passed away recently. I just take a moment and I say, rest in peace, my friends. I say, rest in peace. Daniel Camburn, Phyllis Deely, Joanne Hemberger, Patrick O'Donnell, Mark Howard Zisselman, Kelly Swaka, Francesco Pastino, Virginia Ginny Rossi. She was 73, Ocean City, New Jersey, and Bonita Springs, Florida. Maybe she went down there to when she retired. Passed away peacefully on December 30th, 2020. So these are the folks that didn't make it to 21. Oh, here's a woman, Irene. She made it just to the first day of the year, age 80. Beloved wife of Joseph C. Jr. of Malvern. You know, all these people had their own special lives and their own time in the sun with their family and friends and their careers and their hobbies and their trips, traveling. Like I was just saying. This is the one. Made it just one day. 2021. It's worth a moment in time to recognize them. Say rest in peace. Okay, moving on to the sports section. We're moving through this pretty quickly today. Some days are faster than others. Some days you just don't find anything worth reading, so you just kind of speed through it. Tobias Harris. I got a little bit confused with a guy I used to work with named Josh Harris. Swats Hornets again. Raising his game under Rivers. He scored 22 points in another win. 6-1. The Sixers are. Best record in the league. According to Keith Pompey, Tobias Harris is the 76ers X Factor. So we want to go that far. So you got fixes in. Eagles are focused to get Wentz right. Head still isn't in the sand, by Jeff McClain. A stain on a hero's legacy by Marcus Hayes, which is about Doug Peterson. Looks like. This is Marcus Hayes' take on Doug Peterson sitting Jalen Hurts for Sudfeld. Quote, on January 3rd, 2021, on Sunday Night Football, Peterson ruined his reputation. I mean, come on. A little bit of a stretch, Marcus. On February 4th, 2018, just before halftime of Super Bowl 42, Doug Peterson called a play on 4th and goal from the 1. They called for a backup running back to hand off to a backup tight end to throw to a backup quarterback against the greatest defensive mind of the modern football era. It worked. A career backup quarterback and an Andy Reid sycophant. People love that word, sycophant. I've seen that a lot in articles recently. It's a good word. It rings of like intelligence, and it does explain very well what it does qualify what the person that you're describing is. And it's a dig. It's an intelligent dig. It just seems to be used a lot lately. Peterson found his NFL profile had never been higher. The play, called Philly Special, vaulted Peterson into coaching royalty and earned him a statue outside Lincoln Financial Field. Today, the Giants, their fans, and NFL purists everywhere want to tear that statue down. I mean, listen, he makes his bones, Marcus Hayes, on a little bit of hyperbole, but this is a little bit over the top. So Tobias Harris was recognized as Player of the Week last week. So he just kind of creates, he adds to that prestige with another great game last night. So Hurts wants to create the identity for this team. Les Bowen. We don't know whether Carson Wentz is willing to compete with Jalen Hurts to be the Eagles' 2021 starting quarterback, but we do know Hurts' stance because he was asked about it Monday. I'm a competitor. I control what I can. Put my best foot forward in any situation I'm in, Hurts said, as the Eagles packed up and said their end-of-season goodbyes at NovaCare. Try to be the best quarterback I can be. All right, let's see these stats here. Let's see Hurts' 4-game stats. Second-round rookie. Finished with 77 completions on 148 attempts, 52%, for 1,061 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. His passer rating was 77.5. He averaged 7.2 yards per attempt. That's pretty good. I don't know, is it though? Wentz, who last played December 6th when he was yanked in favor of Hurts in a loss at Green Bay, finished with 251 completions and 437 attempts, 57.4% versus Hurts' 52%, for 2,600 yards and 16 touchdowns, career high 15 interceptions. Passer rating career low 72.8, averaged a meager 6 yards per attempt. I mean, come on, Wentz. I mean, what did you expect? I mean, you're going to have to be taken out of the game, those kind of stats. Hurts was asked what he thinks he proved this season. These last 4 weeks, they've been different for me, he said. Mentally, a grind. I've embraced it, and I've loved it. All right. Well, I like him. I like Jalen Hurts. I'd like to see more of him. Looks like Nolan Patrick, who had a migraine disorder last year, was out all the season for the Flyers. There's a good picture of him skating with the puck during Monday's practice. Good news to see him out there. I'm excited about a return to hockey. Good to have him back on the ice if he can, healthy enough to be there. I thought Nolan looked really good today, said Coach Alain Vigneault. I've had a couple of chats with him the last couple of days. He feels good about where he is. He's really upbeat about his energy level. Patrick, the number 2 overall pick in the 2017 draft and a one-time 102-point scorer in a Western Hockey League season was robbed by goalie Brian Elliott on a point-blank chance in the fast-paced scrimmage. He had a few other scoring opportunities and created some others. It's obviously been a while since I participated in everything with the team, said the 6'2", 203-pound Patrick, entering his third NHL season. It was a good day out there today. All right. Like sometimes what I also do is I look through the standings. Sixers 6-1, top of the Atlantic Division, with Boston trailing at 4-3. You got a couple 5-2 teams: the Clippers, Magic, and then it's just kind of 4-2s, 3-3s, and then downwards from there. Downward spiral. Today's weather in the Philadelphia area: high of 42. A PM rain or snow shower. And then the last section in today's Philadelphia Inquirer, 21 minutes in. Latin jazz with touch of Philly in the life section. Massage away the stress under the fold. Okay, I'm not really a big massage person. They're at-home techniques, though, so I don't have to have somebody, I guess, show up and start, rubbing me. Can COVID-19 linger inside a home? Can you visit someone who has been sick after the 10-day isolation period is over? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, someone who gets sick with the coronavirus can be around others after isolating for 10 days, starting when symptoms first appeared, as long as there's no fever for 24 hours, without the use of fear-reducing medications, and other symptoms are improving. I also like to go to this advice section. So you got Carolyn Hacks, who provides the answers to these people's questions. And, I just like to see what kind of things people are dealing with. What kind of life situations have they encountered that propels them to write a question into a newspaper? I'm always curious about it. Can I tell my adult child she needs therapy? She was always temperamental. In addition, my ex-husband, her father, is narcissistic and was emotionally abusive. We finally divorced when she was 12. Before the divorce, our household was volatile from both my exes and her outbursts, and my not handling any of the outbursts well. Initially, after the divorce, my husband was calm, but as she neared the end of high school, my daughters completely went off the rails. Our relationship also turned volatile. My ex and daughter had an explosive relationship throughout. Through all this, I never got her into therapy because she was uninterested at first. Well, if she was 12 or 13, it's not up to her to decide. Sorry, my opinion. You kind of have to just say, I love you, sweetie, but we're going to have to put you in therapy here. We're going to need to get you some help. My daughter went completely off the rails near the end of high school and also turned volatile. My ex and daughter had an explosive relationship throughout. Through all this, I never got her into therapy because she was uninterested, because I said that. Then later it came across more like I was threatening her with it. My super bad. Now she's 20 and away at school. I worry that she didn't learn proper coping mechanisms growing up in an unhealthy emotional environment. And I even worry she may have borderline personality disorder. She's a great person, and I hate that she may end up unhappy because she blows up her relationships through unhealthy behavior. I love her, and I feel like I failed her. Would I be overstepping if I suggested therapy? And if not, how can I suggest it so it's clear it's coming from a place of love and not a criticism of her? Let's see what Carolyn has to say about this. Answer. Have you gone to therapy yourself? You are refreshingly open about your own contribution to the unhealthy home environment, so please don't take this as slapping you down for your honesty. It's just that you now need to have an adult relationship with your daughter. which is a big transition regardless. And on top of that, she might need you to be healthy for both of you. And so you could benefit from some new skills or reinforcement of old ones. It's also a lot less high horsey to suggest therapy to someone because you've been there yourself and benefited from it. Probably a good idea to start with you, Like if you start with you and work out, you get your own therapy, you center yourself, you get, you either, whether it be telehealth, mask up, go to a place, whatever. Then I think Caroline's right. You could start with the position of, hey, I'm here now too. We're in this together. Can you join me in this journey? As opposed to, you need therapy. I'm going to just chill back. And, I'm good. When it seems like to me from the question, she had a pretty large role in the trauma that her daughter experienced. Then we got the comics, which I just skipped, the crossword, which I have temporarily, in some cases, just kind of on and off, I should say, dabbled in, but not today. And that does it for the Inquirer. Oh boy, 26 minutes in. Let's switch over real fast here to the New York Times. See what we got. When I go through each section, it's a Tuesday, so we got a Science Times special section, special Tuesday section. We got business. We got arts, of course. And we got front page of the Fold. New York Times today is going with scenes in Georgia before Tuesday's elections to determine Senate control. Makes sense. Makes sense is above the fold. So how I typically work with the New York Times is that the front section is dense. Let's be honest. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but other than going straight to the op-ed and letter section, I kind of like to save it for the end so I can power through the other sections. So let me look at the arts, which I always tend to go to first because I do like myself some, news about media, news about movies, music, etc. All right, so France's answer to The Wire and Law and Order begins its final season. I've never seen the movie Spiral, the show Spiral, streaming on MH Megahertz Choice. Maybe that's why I've never seen it. I have no idea what MHZ Choice is. So I'm going to skip over that television review by Mike Hale. I'm going to move over to Playboi Carti's album, Rises to the Top. I don't know much about Playboi Carti. I know of Playboi Carti. I am a 40-year-old man, so I don't really listen too much to Playboi Carti. However, he's got an album that rises to the top. Whole Lot of Red, rapper's first #1 on the Billboard chart. It was part of his busy week. Let's see what else Playboi was up to. Playboi with an I. You could be forgiven if you didn't know about Whole Lot of Red. Is that like inspired by Whole Lot of Love? Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. Sorry, I'm like a little bit sniffly. Latest album by the Atlanta rapper Playboi Carti came out on Christmas Day, while streaming playlists were practically overheating with Seasonal Tinsel by Mariah Carey, Brenda Lee, and Andy Williams. And Whole Lot of Red apparently went unreviewed by the music media. Yet for a streaming star like Playboi Carti, all of that mattered less than the arrival of new content, although some controversy on social media may have also helped. Whole Lot of Red became the rapper's first #1 on Billboard's album chart, with the equivalent of 100,000 sales in the United States, according to Nielsen Music MCR data. The album, which features appearances by Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and Future, was streamed 126 million times in its opening week. Whew. Whole Lot of Red received some extra attention when the rapper Iggy Azalea, she still put out songs. I mean, she had a couple good jams like a few years ago. I haven't heard any new stuff from her. She complained on Twitter that Playboi Carti had ignored her and their young son Onyx on Christmas. In the days that followed, celebrity watching social media roiled, and Playboy Cardi posted videos of him with his son in a studio. Look at me, everyone! I'm spending time with my kid while I'm making music. This week, Taylor Swift's Evermore fell to number 2 after 2 turns to the top. Do you think Taylor Swift is a little bit like oversaturating herself? Just too much. Like, listen, you're talented. No doubt about it. You are a generational talent. Exceptional. Almost like awe-inspiring, mind-blowing, the amount of content and music she puts out. But like, slow down a little bit. Let us miss you. Chicago rapper Lil Durk's The Voice is number 3. Pop Smoke's Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon is number 4 in his 26th week out. And Ariana Grande's Positions is in 5th place. I think Ariana Grande needs to cut back on the like sex kind of inferences. You know, side to side, positions, you know, you name it. Like, listen, if you're trying to like be this like minx, you know, like this like little minx, and I get it, but like, I just feel like you're talented. You don't need to keep going in the well of like, let me talk about how good I can have sex kind of thing. I don't know. Just my own thought. All thoughts are my own. All right, I don't see much else here. Catch up on a year of independent film. Here's some independent films that are being recommended if you're interested in finding a movie to watch. Here they are. I'm Your Woman on Amazon. Baby Teeth on Hulu. So that's actually all right. Charm City Kings, HBO Max. Residue, Netflix. She Dies Tomorrow. I did see that. That was good. Actually, you know what? I take it back. It was okay. The initial kind of, I'm like, this is good. And then it just kind of fizzled off. So I'm surprised at Times is recommending it, to be honest. I mean, let's see what they say. There will likely be a great many movies about the pandemic of 2020, and the bulk will probably be terrible. The most enlightening cinematic representations of this peculiar moment may well be those that capture our tense and tenuous mental state accidentally, like this psychodrama from the writer and director Amy Steinmetz, which was to premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March, but became one of the first major cultural casualties of COVID-19. It follows a series of seemingly sane and upper-class characters who, one by one, become convinced they are about to die. A potent dramatization of the feeling that everything we know is coming to an end, and that paranoia and fear are the most infectious diseases of all. It's also, by the way, very funny. It wasn't bad. I don't know if I would recommend it, though. Tesla on Hulu. Yusuf Hawkins, Storm Over Brooklyn, HBO Max, and Rewind on Prime Video. Oh, Butt Boy on Amazon. I've heard about that. Maybe I should see it. And His House on Netflix. Okay. Arts. Done. Business section. Hundreds of Google employees unionize in a Silicon Valley rarity. Not interested enough to read the whole thing. Oh, the editor-in-chief at Teen Vogue takes the helm at The Cut. I like The Cut. It's the New York Magazine style and culture website with a devoted following. He named Lindsay Peoples Wagner as his new editor-in-chief on Monday. Congrats, Lindsay! Good job. Make it happen. Quibi may be dead, but Roku covets its content. Quibi was the biggest bust of the streaming boom, but it has something Roku wants, more than 100 original programs. Man, what a disaster. Quibi, which announced that it was closing 6 months after a much-hyped introduction, which is horrible timing. I mean, 10-minute videos when people are stuck in their house. Like, it's the whole point of the Quibi service was that, you could watch on the train, you could watch, in traffic safely, etc. When you have pauses in your busy day out and about. Well, not much out and about going on right now. The detail is close to completion, said one person with knowledge of the discussions who was not authorized to speak publicly. Quibi and Roku declined to comment. Started by Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman, who raised more than $1.75 billion from major Hollywood studios and other investors. Quibi was a quixotic attempt to capitalize on the streaming boom. Its shows, chopped into installments no longer than 10 minutes, were meant to be watched on smartphones. Here's what I just said. The approach assumed that people wanted this kind of viewing experience to help them through their daily commutes while they were in line for coffee. But the coronavirus pandemic meant that potential customers were out of their on-the-go workday routines when the platform went live in April. They should have just paused it. That's what I would think. Just pause it. Like, we're going to come out with this in a year from now or something. But I guess they put so much money into it, they had to try to get it off the ground, and then that was that. The endless pandemic debate: cancel or rebook travel plans. All right, I'm going to try to save that one, maybe for later. Okay. All right, closing in on 37 minutes here. Thank you to the one person who is apparently watching. I don't know. Or is that just me? Do I count as one viewer? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of gazing through this. We just booked a trip to an undisclosed location outside of the country. Close enough for May. And so this article, the endless pandemic debate, cancel or rebook travel plans. I'm curious about, what they might be suggesting. I'm thinking May is a good far out time, and we can always cancel the hotel, 100% cancellation option, no charge. So, and lastly, today, the Science Times. Like I said, I'm going to skip over the front section today. Just focus on the interior sections of the New York Times. Science is, surprisingly good sometimes. There's really some quality articles. I'm not noticing any today that I want to really get into. Coconut oil's underserved health halo. Does it really promote weight loss, lessen heart disease, and make life wonderful? I don't know much about coconut oil. Apparently, it continues to be widely lauded as a miracle food. Proponents, including many celebrities, claim it promotes weight loss, lowers blood pressure and blood glucose, protects against heart disease, increases energy, reduces inflammation, erases wrinkles, and even counters Alzheimer's disease. Plus, it tastes great, so what could be so bad? Jeez. A lot of stuff coconut oil does, according to the celebrities. And that is your New York Times and your Philadelphia Inquirer. At least what I was interested in for January 5th, 2021. See you tomorrow.